So hopefully this works. I am going to possibly pull up a alt character that I don't know. I'm just gonna pull up Pookie. No, I'll pull up an alt character. Why not? So where do I start with my story? I started out playing Final Fantasy about 5 years ago. I'm trying to decide which character I should play as. I'll play as my main because obviously this is the story about my main. And I can't log in yet because there's 23 people ahead of me. So I'm going to wait until I fully log in, and I'm going to just do random stuff, and I will explain my story. I'm sure most of you are wondering, you know, how I started. I've had people ask me questions, you know, how you started, what happened, you know, why did you quit, why did you do this, why did you do that, you know, how'd you meet Ben, how'd you meet Saba, and whatnot. So this is either going to be a very long video, or this is going to be probably a couple part series. I don't know yet. When I started Final Fantasy, it was to, I was getting away from GTA. I had gotten rid of I had gotten a new PlayStation 4. I had ordered one. And then I ordered Final Fantasy. I wasn't on the 4 that long when I got into Final Fantasy because I actually had moved over to... I'd actually moved over to the 4 when I was taking a break from GTA for a while. And while I was taking a break from GTA, a lot of things had happened. While I was in the GTA crew, I'm not going to get into that. It was just a lot of drama and a lot of things that, you know, need not be mentioned ever. You know, per se, like an abusive, or not FC, but an abusive crew leader who... he would degrade a lot of people and whatnot, especially one of our members who had learning disabilities and was constantly degrading this guy. But anyways, so I joined Final Fantasy because a couple people wanted it. I met them through a person. I don't remember how I met this other person, but I met them through this one other person, and I was like, oh, hey, you're cool, you know, and I said, well, what is this Final Fantasy game like? Is it like all the other Final Fantasies? No, it's not. And so we had this long talk about how Final Fantasy was just like this amazing game. I'm like, alright. This was back when Realm Reborn was around and it was like a huge thing. So, when I signed in, I got my subscription to Final Fantasy, and I first stepped into this world that was unlike any other game I had ever really stepped into, and it was magical. I will admit it, it was amazing. I developed a friendship with several people in this FC. They helped me get going on gathering and, you know, doing many things, learning how to do classes. They recommend starting out on Bard because back in the day, it was Realm Reborn. You didn't have very many classes. You had a lot of classes to choose from. There was 3 tanks. God, how many DPSs? There was Archer, Dragoon, which was also called Lancer. Then you had Pugilist and Ninja and Black Mage, or I already said Black Mage. I can't remember how many words. I was like 5 of them or something like that. And so I became a bard, or actually was called a rogue or something back in the day. I don't remember because it's been so long since I played it. So I ended up doing that. They suggested I start as DPS, so I started as a DPS. And I grew in this FC to the point where I was enjoying the game, but I wanted to grow more. I wanted to find more in life. And hold on. Whoops, I keep screwing up. I got my mind on other things right now. I'm trying to tell the story and bam, this happens. But, so as I was growing in this FC, I met a lot of new people and made some friends. And obviously he is not understanding. But, there wasn't that many members in this FC, and it was pretty much a quiet FC. It was ran by, a woman who was full-blooded German. Her and I got along for the most part, but she... Yes, I'm streaming. We got along for the most part, but there were days that it was questionable. I mean, I'll agree. It takes a special person to sometimes deal with me. I'm not always the easiest person to get along with. So, she and I don't always get along with women sometimes. I don't know why that is. I'm more of like, I got along with the guys. I'm like the girl that's wearing the jeans, leather jacket, drinking beer, and belching and scratching my ass with the rest of the guys. I'm not really the one that is wearing the tutti frutti dress and skirt or whatever and blowing bubble gum and talking Valley Girl and chasing jocks. I'm not that kind of girl. So, for the most part, her and I kind of sort of got along, kind of sort of didn't get along. So then what ended up happening over time is, you know, I started developing a friendship with her best friend. And she, I guess, got jealous or she didn't like it. And it got to a point where I started feeling ostracized, and eventually after about almost a year, I quit and took a short break. During that short break, I don't know if I have that menu. I don't. During that short break, I ended up playing a couple of other games, trying to decide what I really wanted out of life in my video gaming world, and not really knowing where to go. what I was doing or how I was going about it. So, hey, I bought you a present. Come here. Draco, come here. There you go, it's a minion. It's a cute minion. There you go. Select it, pop it, and pull it out. He's adorable. Anyways, did you want to do some dungeons? Well, I can't really do dungeons while I'm talking because then I get bleh. But anyways, I didn't know if you wanted to do dungeons or not. Draco, do you want to do dungeons or... I'm just gonna go gather. But, so I took my short break, and then during my short break, oh God. But, a lot of things happened, and I decided to come back. I actually had a friend that persuaded me to come back. So I came back to game, and he said he had an FC that I could join that, you know, I didn't join that FC right away. I was in another FC. And lo and behold, it was called After Dark. I didn't think I would ever be joining back to it, but I eventually did. But nobody ever remembers that I was originally there. But, God. So, I decided to join this FC. I was in it for like a month. And then one of my friends, a close friend of mine, logged in, and that brought me back into the game. And he's like, why don't you come join this FC? And it was a larger FC. And the FC was called Azure. So I went to go join this FC called Azure. And in this FC, I felt safe in a way because it was large. But I also felt vulnerable at the same time. It was like being the new kid in a high school that was extremely large that you're not used to being in. And I started to get to knowing people slowly, little by little, and I started enjoying myself. And I got to a point where I started getting comfortable doing runs and whatnot, and I enjoyed doing runs with the FC. Like, we would go do pony farms, and I was actually thinking about getting into a raid soon, or a raid team. But that was short-lived because just a lot happened. So while in Azure, I started learning new things about the game, like, oh hey, you can get married in game. And I thought, hey, I can get married in game, that's cool. I can get a chocobo, a two-seater. I've always wanted a two-seater because I like helping people out. Because I got the fly zones right away. And we have people in our FC that didn't have fly zones. Well, at the time, I didn't have a two-seater. So I was looking for someone to marry in game, just to be my best friend, or be a friend and marry me, to hang out, that kind of thing. And it was always a cut and hit and miss thing, you know. I was just like, the guys, he started getting romantic with me, and I'm like, no, no. But then, I mean, I'm making a lot of a long story short, but then I met this one guy. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm gonna call him... CM. That's abbreviated for his in-game name. CM and I became really good friends. We hung out once in a while, but we weren't like hanging out all the time because he liked being alone a lot, and so I respected that. And I went and did my thing, and he always did his thing, and whatever. Well, we were in a raid thing, and we were doing coils, and I was getting my coils cleared, and he was coming with us to get the coils cleared as well. And as an FC in Azure, it was just an FC thing. Well, once in a while, if we didn't have enough people in our party, we could always invite somebody from an alliance. Well, we invited somebody from an alliance, and this person, we invited a couple people, but this one person from this alliance was berating Sam a lot. Sam was using Summoner, which is a class that I didn't really... It was a class that I really didn't get into until after I met Ben, because I didn't fully understand it. So... Oh wow, hold on. So, he was on his summoner, and we were all just kind of in the last fight. We were grinding the last fight for the answer song and doing other things. And this person just kept berating CM. And it literally was getting to a point where he was getting agitated. And he and I were in a private call. We weren't in a call with the other people. We were in a private call in, I think, Skype. But we were in a private call, we were talking, and this person kept calling him out, and he got so agitated, he mouthed off. Now, in the Azure FC, you're not really supposed to mouth off Alliance members for whatever reason. And about 2 or 3 days later, I got questioned. I actually should retitle this video "My Life in Azure," because most of my game time was in Azure. I was in there for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. And wait a minute, I think I was in there for yeah, I was in there for about 2 years. So things were not so good in the game for me, because he was making not only himself look bad, but he was making me to be out an ass as well. There is the FC leader, and I will use this FC leader's name because I am not going to hold back anymore. I am not going to hold any more shame anymore, because I was harassed by this person. I was belittled. I was slandered. And I'm going to stand up for myself now, because this was years ago. And in a way I'm over it, in a way I'm not. But Reika's getting his just rewards. You know, nobody knew what gender he was until he finally told everybody what he was. And everybody felt lied and betrayed, and then other things happened. But we'll get to that later. So anyways, what ended up happening is Reika pulled me aside. Reika started questioning me like I was guilty of something. Try to get me to snitch on CM. And I kind of caved. And the only thing I told Reika was that, yes, he did get out of line. But I was in private call with him, and I tried getting him to chill out. I told him, I'm like, you know, yes, he was out of line, but he had every right to be out of line. I specifically told Reika that. This CM had every right to be out of line with this person because this person was just outright with him. So then I got a tongue lashing and was told what I did wasn't right, and I don't remember what it was. I defended him, and that's all I really did. And apparently that was wrong. But it wasn't an offense that was frowned upon. It was just wrong. And I told Reika, I was like, so I'm not to defend the people I care about, but it's okay for somebody else in another FC to degrade another person. No answer. Reika went and after a day or two talked to Sam. Worst day possible to talk to him. He signed in one night. He was having a crappy day. I told Reika not tonight. He's having a really bad day. He wants to be left alone. And Reika approached him anyways. And told him to come to the FC house and talk to him. And I don't know the whole conversation that was said, but from what I understand is he was told that I snitched him. And I tried explaining to him, the only thing I said is, yes, you were in the wrong of what you said to that person, but it was understandably said because you were attacked. He didn't believe me. He attacked me. He even threatened me over Facebook. He threatened me in Skype. He threatened me in the game. And then I said, alright, I will pull my stuff out of the medium house and I will go about my business. I did that. It wasn't a huge loss, but it was a loss of a friendship because of one leader. Everybody was concerned about me. I told everybody in the FC I'm fine. Let me be. Let me do my thing. Let me get over it. Can I land on this? But again, Reika came up to me. Reika's like, you know, is he bothering you? Da 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 da. Having me play the victim. And I didn't want to play the victim. Because that is not my fault. So he decided he quit the game because Reika and the rest of the leaders, or just Reika, maybe a couple of the officers or whatever, were stalking him, screenshotting everything that he was saying in other areas, and all he wanted to do was recruit in the FC he was in. They would not leave him alone. We're talking constant stalking. So, with that being done, I had several other friends in the FC come and go. There was this one group that was in the FC for a while, and I became good friends with. They eventually left and made their own FC because of something that had happened in leadership. Something that wasn't right and that wasn't fair. I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to be involved. I did my thing. I let everybody do their thing. So I left it alone. Then I became friends with another group of people that eventually left because there was an argument within the FC about what it is that they were doing, or they didn't like how something was being ran or done, and I'm just randomly flying around because it's pretty out here and I like music. I think there's a uniform spots too. I became friends with a couple people outside the FC. And little did I know that being friends with outside FC members was a no-no. You can, but it's not advised. You wouldn't go up ranks if you had friends. Oh, wow, Oh, I know. But, you couldn't have friends outside the FC. You couldn't have, the only friends that you were allowed to basically have were inside the FC. Because if you had started to develop friendships with people outside the FC, you were questioned. Reika would constantly question me. Is anybody watching? Yeah, there is. I was gonna start the stream over. Reika would constantly watch me, who I was and wasn't talking to, from time to time. And when some of the members started noticing I was hanging out with people outside the FC, it was noted to leadership that I was hanging out with a couple people, and one of them was an ex-Azure member. And so they wanted to make sure I wasn't their little spy or somebody that was degrading them or somebody that wasn't, giving information to them or whatever the case may be. When Reika pulled me aside, he asked me who the people were that I was hanging out with. And at this point, there was like a little red flag that was waving in the air, like, pay attention to what's being said here. It was brought to my attention that one of the members, or one of my friends that I was hanging out with, was a ex-member that caused problems for them. And I didn't think nothing of it. I just sat there and I said, I hang out with who I hang out with. I don't badmouth the FC. If they do, I disregard it. I take it as hearsay, yada yada yada. And that's all there is to it. And Reika's like, good. I'm like, okay. And I started questioning things in my head about a lot of things. But I was friends with some leaders. So I kind of just brushed it off like no big deal. Although I've had friends in the past warn me about Azure after they had left it. Be careful of Rika. Rika's a liar. not who he says he is, yada yada yada. So I mean, the character, everybody's character was actually starting to look bad around me. Marika decided, after I started getting better acquainted with the FC and I started getting to know the fights better of the pony farms, I started doing, hey, let's do weekly pony farm for everybody and let's get everybody ponies. So I did this weekly pony farm. Every Sunday was Pony Sunday. Sunday was Roundup Day. I would call it the Roundup Farm Day or some shit like that. And it was where people could get around, gather up, and we could help each other get their horses and just hang out and chill and have fun. Well, while I was doing that, Rika was watching me, and Rika and the council decided to boost me up a level, or a rank, to scout. And in order to become a scout, I actually had a couple of officers come up to me and ask me if I had ever thought about going up a rank. And I said, no, not really. And they said, well, we think you should because you help a lot of people out and you'd be good for it. You'd be good at it. I'm like, okay. Ego went up a little bit. I'll try it out. So I went to become a scout. And what a scout does is they go out to other areas. They visit each area, and in each area they do a shout of a recruitment for Azure. And your job is to just bring numbers in. No poaching. And if anybody slanders you, you don't say nothing. You take a screenshot and you send it to one of the council members. One of the officers, or whatever they were called. I mean, this is actually starting to sound more and more like Scientology now that I'm explaining it more. I shouldn't say Scientology, because I don't want to single out any religions, but it does sound like a cult. So, I was doing my shout-outs, and Reika was doing this quote-unquote training with me, telling me how to recruit. So all my recruitment skills I got from Reika. Everything I've learned from Reika, I still apply in a way to my own recruiting. I've deuced it up a little bit and made some changes, but otherwise, yeah, I still use the training that they gave me. You go out and you go in each area and stand around for about 10 minutes. Do one shout, stand there for about 10 minutes, and we go on to the next area. We had to make sure nobody else was recruiting that day. So I talked to the other scouts. There was one scout that said I don't really recruit much. There was a couple scouts that recruited on other days. So I picked a day, and the other scouts were like, no, we don't recruit that day. So I said, all right, I'll go recruit that day. I would get up at about 6 o'clock in the morning, do my daily thing at home, and then I would get online about 8. Maybe earlier. Excuse me. Sorry, wrong number. Anyways, so I would go out and recruit about one or two times a week. Oh, things are good. I'm just talking about my time in Azure. So Ben can link this and give this to one of the ex-members that were actually it's a long story, and I'll probably get to it at some point. But anyways, I would get out at least once or twice a week and recruit from, I want to say, yeah, I'm flying. You can fly in this game when you get to Heaven's Ward. That's why I keep telling you, get through the game, get to Heaven's Ward, and you can fly, and I can help you get birds. You want to see all my mounts? This is cool. You want to see how some of these mounts fly? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So this one's really cool. It's one of my favorites. I'm gonna switch to a DPS for a little bit. So what ended up happening is
I'm bringing back the dead. That's the MSQ I'm on. What the F you?
Oh, pretty, isn't it? It's the Garo ponies. They're not going to be available anymore after a while, though, so you're kind of late on it now. You might be able to get them if you do PvP, I don't know. I mean, I can try to explain to you how to get it, but you don't have much time. No, wait, no, you might have like another month. But it's a heavy grind to get them. Fat cat. Yes, the fat cat flies. So what actually ended up happening is I would recruit once or twice a week.
I wanted the Damadarasi now.
Oh, you mean this one? She flies too. You have to get into Stormblood, and then I can help you get your pony or your wolfie.
Freaking majestic.
I know, beautiful, isn't she? So anyways, what ended up happening is I would recruit twice a week, and I would get up at 7 in the morning, do my thing, be on the game by like 10, whatever in the morning. I don't know. I get about 6, between 6 and 7.
I'm trying to
then I would get in game, and I would get in game and I would start recruiting, and I would recruit from like 8 o'clock in the morning till like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's some long hours of recruiting. Standing around, doing nothing, picking my ass. I'd gather for a bit while recruiting. I'd train my chocobo. I didn't really have time for anything except for what Reika wanted. And what Reika wanted was numbers. Reika didn't push it, but Reika wanted to be the best. That's the reason why Azura was #1 for so long in the FC server, or in the FC list and in the server, is because Reika felt like he had to be #1 at all times. So I was recruiting and building relationship with friends and making friends and enjoying my time. You know, I was trying to enjoy the game. I would get messages at 8 o'clock in the evening asking for an extra body for a run. And when I did those runs, hold on, I got a cat trying to be Freddy Krueger. Never mind, my daughter got him. Hopefully I can catch this area in a really pretty weather pattern. Whoops, wrong one. I want this one? No, this one. God damn it! what I wanted either. There. Now, go there.
Well, I'm gonna go and do the story as fast as I can.
Alright, I'll see you later. So what ended up happening was that I didn't get as much done as I wanted to because I was always so worried about what the officers needed or what Reika needed. I was so worried about what everybody needed and not what I needed. You gotta be kidding me. You have got to be seriously kidding me. He is the fucking villain. Can start doing grinding for this. So, I didn't get much done. I didn't get to do POTD much. I didn't get to do what I wanted, really. I did, but I didn't. And I got no major help. Except for when I begged for it, or when they really wanted to help me. I mean, the leadership, there was nothing wrong with it. I never had a problem with the leadership. There was a few things that I felt was a little bit off at times, but I left it alone. There's some things I probably would have done differently than what it was done, but I didn't hold them accountable for it like I should have. Ended up going and after becoming a scout, helping people out. I was doing the pony farming parties. Oh shit, that was harsh. That was harsh. I've never had a landmine one-shot me, ever. Okay, don't res me. I mean, really, I'm right here. Don't res me. Wow, don't res me, Astro. Just don't res me. Don't be afraid to res me. Astro's a healer. Do not be afraid to res me. Wow, what an asshole. You don't have Swift Cast? But, so, to make another long story short, things were going pretty good, until I ended up with this, why am I going here? Until I ended up with this one group of friends, damn it. I ended up with this one group of friends that, it was bad. I got attached to one, thinking she was a good friend, and then there was a guy in the group. Now, this is how I met this guy named Rajiv. I don't know what server he's on now. I'm just going to use his name because, whatever. Him and I became really good friends. And this is where the shitstorm started. It started with Odiv telling me, you know, that, you know, he wanted to marry me in game and stuff and whatnot. I'm like, cool. I had no problems with it. He wanted someone who could be attached to me in game, and I wanted one too, and I wanted a close friend and whatnot. we actually hit it off really well. We became really good friends. Well then, you know, I introduced her to my son Light, and she was already taken by this guy, and she was getting out of a bad, this is a different light, this is not the light from After Dark. I mean, I've talked about her sometimes in my streams, but it's not her. Her name is Valkyrie Light, or something like that, but we always call her Light. She took advantage of my friendship with him because she liked male attention. I thought she was a friend. Apparently she wasn't. She adored getting attention from men. She's not a bad person, that's just how she is. She loves attention from men. So, you know, he became friends with her. I had no problem with it. But it got to a point where she would tell them that it was either, if she was in their party with them, I was not allowed to be in the party with them because she didn't like me because I was friends with OD. I was friends with her boyfriend. I was friends with everybody. And she did not like that. And I think she felt threatened by it. And to be honest, all I wanted was to be her friend, too. But I can't be everybody's friend. But I thought her and I were friends. So she would tell everybody, if I'm in your party, don't invite her. And so Ladiv's like, I can't invite you to party. And I'm like, why? And he goes, it's out of my hands. And I'm like, Light's with you. And he goes, yeah. I said, that's the problem. I was like, you're not understanding something. I'm catching the pattern, and I don't care anymore. You guys don't want me in party because she's in party, or whatever the case may be, and she doesn't like me. I don't care anymore. I got to a point where I just didn't care. And, so it got to, he hated being called pet names like BB and shit like that. He hated it when anybody did that. But what angered me is she had a man in real life. And, you know, I had ODs as, you know, my in-game partner, but we were like really close friends. And she was slowly pushing him away from me. And she was actually succeeding very well at it. And I don't know what her plan was, because I didn't care if she was his friend. I didn't care if she didn't want me around, but it would have been nice if I could have been his friend too. It drove me nuts to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore, because this went on for about 3 weeks. Like, I was not invited to parties. It was like every time she was on, she would grab all my male friends, and I couldn't hang out with them. I couldn't have any friends. But she could steal all my male friends. And I was at the point where I had no friends. Well, OD had an ex-girlfriend in game. And at the time I didn't know she was his ex-girlfriend when him and he started wanting to hang out with me all the time. And then that was looking bad. Well, it was brought to Rekka's attention that there was a couple things that was brought to Rekka's attention after I had left. I eventually left the FC due to drama, personal issues. It was too much drama for me to handle, and I left. I couldn't handle it anymore. I could not handle the fucking drama. The drama was way too much for me, because I was dealing with it on my own, and I couldn't deal with it on my own. And it was like asking somebody to... It was like asking somebody to sit there and take on a whole fucking high school because one girl didn't want you around. So, I mean, don't pick her in the cheerleading team because if you do, I won't be your friend anymore type attitude. That's what it meant. So when it came down to it, I gave her room and I let her have what she wanted and I left the FC. Now when I left the FC, I had a couple officers message me asking me what the hell happened. And I told them specifically, too much drama, I can't handle it, I'm gone. I had a respect for all these officers. These people I had respect for, and I finally said, I've had enough. And I left. It was too much for me. You know, I needed my friends. I needed a scapegoat from the stress and the pressures of being a scout. And doing these things for the FC and whatnot. And these guys were my escape for a while from, you know, the assholes in dungeons and whatnot. But it was all about them. And I couldn't handle that. Now I'm not trying to make it out to be myself, all about myself, but it hurt knowing that I wasn't wanted. So I left the FC. I specifically asked the leaders to leave me alone. I specifically asked, not one, not two, but 3 officers to leave me alone. I just wanted to move on. I went to my best friend's SC. She actually gave me shelter, and I didn't sign in for a couple days, and she finally messaged me, and she's like, when are you coming back to the game? And I said, I don't know yet. The first day I logged in, I had 4 or 5 messages come in. I had made a link shell so people from the FC could talk to me or whatever the case may be and ask me questions if they needed to when I was ready for it. I had not 1, not 2, but 3 other people sit there and ask me what the hell is going on. And I told them, I said, it was a bunch of drama. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to move on. It was told to me and promised to me by one of the leaders that I would be left alone. Well, I get a message from Reka, the FC leader of Azure. Hey, Zane. I get a message from Reka. And he goes, you know, I need to talk to you. Mind you, I'm in Quarry Mill. I'm in a place where I'm hard to find. I'm in Quarry Mill, and Reka finds me. Reka was actually looking for me this whole entire time. He was talking to me. So there's stalking rule number 1 of the no-no. You can send me a tell, but if you're gonna flip and stalk me, at least make me aware of it that you're looking for me, so I don't get freaked out. So Reka found me, and when Reka found me, he started interrogating me. Like, there were reports that I was verbally harassing this girl, Light, I just say, Valkyrie Light, which I never did. I was told that I bullied her, which I never did. There were accusations coming out of Reka's ass of things that I would never do to anybody. Just the amount. No. I'm telling my story what happened because Ben wants to give this video to somebody about what happened to me in Azure. And it's something that, it's a story that needs to get out. I might do a revision one, I don't know yet. Have him watch it and see what he says. But, I sat there and watched this person tell me I was doing all these things to this other person who I cared about a lot. And was told that I was harassing this person all the time while I was in Azure, which I never did. I immediately started having a panic attack, or anxiety attack. And I got to a point where I didn't want to sign in the game. Well, I went to my team leader and I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. You know, I'm in the Skyfallen list, and Skyfallen list I'll explain in a little bit. It's another cultist thing Azure has. But I sat there and tried figuring out what I did, what I said that was so berating one person that was always oversensitive about everything. The only thing I could think of is there was one time I jokingly said I was jealous of this person. And I told her, I said, I'm not really jealous of you, but it's like, you know, you have this beautiful voice, and you're a really good singer, and whatnot, but it was never meant to be a harassment thing. So don't ask me how that's harassment, because I myself don't know. But I told her, you know, and I said, I just hope we can be friends, and she goes, yeah, I think it's no problem. And I said, can you teach me certain things, whatever, and she was more than welcome, happy to do that. Oh, I got to get to 61 so I can get this level to 80. But, so I also found out some things that, I mean, there's a lot of things that were said about me that Reiko was accusing me of to my face. And then Reiko was threatening me that things were gonna get taken care of if I kept doing it, and and I was gonna get reported, and I was gonna get banned, and it was a huge mess. And I'm thinking here, and I asked Reika, I was like, so if I bully this person, where's the proof? I don't see any screenshots. Can you send me screenshots where it shows that I actually bullied this person? Unfortunately, I was never given any screenshots. I was never given any proof that I actually bullied somebody. So I was never able to really take up the defense of my own system. I mean, if you're going to accuse somebody, at least have the proof that they did it and show them what they did that was wrong. So they can correct it. But Reika decided to... Reika decided that to put me in the Skyfallen. I had no issues with that, and I didn't. Skyfallen is like you're an apostate to Azure. I also found out that after I had left, I was still like in their forums, so I could see what they were labeling me as. I was seeing things like, you know, I was spreading slander, which I wasn't doing. I was part of this anti-Azure propaganda, which, to be honest, it was starting to sound more and more like they were making themselves out to be martyrs. And it was sad, to be honest. It was really sad. So I was in this FC, and I was getting harassed constantly. And finally, some people found out why I was having panic attacks all the time. So about 6 of my friends went over there and started camping out in their yard. What they did exactly, I don't know. I was not there to see it. I didn't get any proof of what actually happened. The only screenshot I got of is one of my good friends who went over there and told Rika to leave me alone, or else there was going to be some repercussions going to be taken. In other words, a GM was going to be contacted and things were going to get handled swiftly. Because the harassment was getting out of control. I mean, Rico was literally having his minions come after me daily to get answers. When that didn't stop, they would sit out in Azure's yard and do whatever it is that they did. I guess they were harassing people and telling them to leave me alone and whatnot. According to Reika and everybody else and some of the people in the FC, they said I sent them, which I never did. I never sent anybody there. Everybody that had went there went on their own accord. They went there because they were defending me. They didn't go there because I said, oh, can you go over there and tell them to leave me alone? I didn't say that. And I do not condone in, witch hunts and the like and whatever. So, they decided after a while they quit, I guess, going over there. Because I actually asked my best friend that was the FC leader, and I asked her, I said, can you please stop doing this? You know, she goes, well, they're protecting us, they're protecting you. And I said, I understand they're trying to protect me, but it actually is making it worse. And I was like, please, stop. They finally stopped doing it, and more things were being done to them that I did not know about. I don't know what all was being done. I don't care. It's stupid, and I had nothing to do with that either. So it was quiet for a while, and then the FC leader of mine left the server, went to another server because there was a good deal going on. And when I left, I went to another FC and joined some other friends of mine. And Reika actually attacked me again, going to the FC leader. And if some of these things have been true about me, I could have gone after them for spreading my personal information around online. Because Reika was going around saying I was from the state, that I was this home wrecker, and I was this, and I was that, and whatever. And it got to a point where I was actually getting furious. At this time I had already met Ben. And I told Ben about it. Ben never has liked Azure. he has his own story to tell. But he has never, ever liked his work. And, that's his own story to tell. But, after I found out that, I actually still have that screenshot. I still have that screenshot. Reika was claiming I was a 31-year-old female. That put me a little bit younger. And that I was from Maine, which I was not. And just bullshit lies. Things I wouldn't expect Reika to do. Especially from what I knew of him. And there was also a Reddit page made out of the whole thing. I can't remember where it's at now. It's still up. I assume it is. But there was this huge thing written about everything Azure had done. The lies about how the FC was made, the propaganda about what had actually happened to the founding of Azure. I mean, the lies just continue to grow. Even to this date, the FC is based on that. I did a lot for that FC, and all I can say is what's been going on recently with Azure, I'm not surprised. Especially with the harassment that Reika used to do. Because after I left, some certain things came out of the open, and Reika lost she lost quite a few officers and got some of them replaced. But I found out recently something, and I don't know if they're cold, stone, hard facts, because there is rumors going around, and there's, you know, people talk and whatnot. One of the stories, and it's been frequently told to me, and it's the same story. This leader, Reika, Fukushima, and Azure Infinium, and Midgard Summer, basically told her members they're all expendable. That's how she made her members feel one day. Over the course of like 2 or 3 days, over 100 members had left. And hearing that makes me wonder if I should have left sooner than what I did. Before I became a scout, before I started finding out some things that didn't feel right. And in a way, I don't regret staying. In a way, I do regret staying there. I've actually met with some people that are ex-FC members of hers when she was in an FC called the Crimson Blades. And the Crimson Blades were a fairly big FC. They weren't the larger FC, but they were a fairly big FC. And when that FC started tearing apart, I don't know the full story on it, I wish I did. But from what I understand on the lies of the storyline, Reka stole guilt. Reka did some things that were not so good. But I can't say neither here nor there because there are all kinds of stories, and so I am not fully into all the stories I've heard. I just know a lot of them are bad. Now, do I sit here and say, go on a witch hunt, go after Reka, cut him down, blah blah? No, I don't. This is my personal experience from the FC. Everybody has had their own personal experience. Everybody, you know, I don't sit there and say it's a terrible FC. Because when I was there, I did have my fun. But, god damn. I need to get on Destiny and get my stuff done. God, this is taking forever. I got an idea. Actually. But, I don't condone in any witch hunt or anything like that. I don't sit there and say, hey, go after this person. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, hey, look what Pookie's doing. She's bad-mouthing you. Is this all true? No, I'm not saying do that either. You know, there are a lot of things I'm guilty of. There are a lot of things I'm a victim of. When I left that FC, it was like a burden was being lifted off my shoulders. When I left that FC, I decided to do my own thing and be my own person. And it was like the best thing I had ever decided to do. Let's see here, trials, main scenario. I think I'm gonna quit here. I might revise this video. I might actually delete this video and revise it and make an actual recording of just in Minecraft or something and just talk about it. I gotta get in Destiny and I need to get some... I'm told Ben I would wait for him though. Yeah, I'll wait for him. Fuck it, I'm gonna go on Skyrim and then talk to him about it tomorrow about that. Because we only have a few more days yet for Destiny, because we need to get something done in it. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I met Ben while I was in the Lev FC after I left Azure. Shortly, about 6 months later after I left Azure. One thing Azure did, and I found out that they did, and it actually really angered me because I was trying to pull a friend out of there. And one of the things that was done was they had a Valentine's Day event. This is an event I would never run in my FC. I am so sorry. It sounds like a great idea, but to me, it just sounds derogatory. Oh, hey! Guess what? You just missed my whole story I was talking about Azure. So, there was a Valentine's Day event that was happening in Azure. This was the same year I left.
I caught the very end.
3 years ago? That's funny. So this Valentine's Day event, if you entered, people could bid on you for a date. And to be honest, When I heard about this, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing that Reika had ever thought of the whole entire time. If you... The people would bid on you.
I remember that event.
Yeah, I when I heard about it, I found out one of my friends I was actually trying to pull out of there. She's no longer my friend because she betrayed me. She stabbed my back. When I heard about this event, I was actually trying to pull her out of the FC because she was feeling like a tool. But when people are bidding on you, if the person that bid the highest on you, you got to go out on a date with that person. I think you got a cut in the bid, and then the rest went to the FC. The reason why I don't like that is it reminds me so much of what they do in I don't want to say it because I want to get the right culture down for it. They do it in I think they do it in Iran, where a bunch of girls will sit in a room and then guys will sit there and argue their worth. That's exactly what it is. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should be bidded on unless they want to do it for fun and they see it as fun. Because, to believe it or not, this person I was talking to, her bid was so low, and Reika's was like, what? Sorry, wasn't it like 10 million or some shit like that? I heard it was about 10 mil. I don't remember, but to be bid on, and you get bidded on so low, and it's such a low win, it makes you feel like trash. It lowers your self-worth. For some people it does.
I didn't go to it. I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, it was a stupid idea. It was like one of the stupidest ideas I ever heard Ezu were doing. You literally, this person that I knew, my best friend at the time, her self-worth basically went from 10 points to like 2.
This weekend is Summerfest, LOL.
Azure Summerfest? I'm not gonna crash it, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go into the FC yard, wear a bikini, and run around, and I could ruin their picture. I could do so much. I could go into the ward, get on a mount, and run back and forth on a picture, you know, and basically screen, what is it called again? Photobomb their screenshots. But I won't do it. I won't stoop that low.
I could ruin it. I am in the FC, LOL.
Azari, a lot of us could ruin it. You, me, Ben. I mean, Ben would probably be in on it. A couple of other people I know in the FC would love to be in on it. But it's just not worth it. It's not worth it at all. It's not.
I could sabotage it from the inside, LOL.
How could you sabotage it? That's my brother, Jen.
I am sure I could think of something underhanded and nefarious. Face watches a lot of Lifetime movies.
Yeah, but could you get away with it?
Surprise hugs. It would probably get me banned, but why do I gap LOL?
True. Surprise! You're on candid camera. God, he's so funny. It's my best friend, my brother. You can call him Jen, though. But yeah, there's a lot of things. There was the day they were doing their shouts, and we're an organized community, and I was gonna be like, yeah, more like an organized cult. But that could get me in trouble too, because that's spreading slander. I'm not about spreading slander, but I'm about getting the truth out. And it's about time someone started putting their foot down and getting the truth out on Azure. But is it going to be really worth it in the end, though? I think they quit doing that Valentine's Day event because of that one, because people felt really bad, didn't they? And so they didn't do it anymore.
Mel let them run a little cult. All the people I liked left so they can burn to the ground now for all I care.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even Kahuna left and he was Reika's best friend in real life.
Yeah, were they really best friends or were they a couple? That's what I want to know.
What is the difference, LOL? Difference.
True. True, I agree.
Either way, Kahuna left and it says a lot.
Yep, it does.
screen.
Skyrim.
Hearing about Azure upsets me. Heck, really don't like them. I have to play it vicariously through you cause I can't afford to buy it right now, lol. Who's Ruby A?
Does it drive you nuts when I do certain things and you want to do the other thing when I'm doing the opposite? Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream here, and then I'll hop over to Skyrim because we need to get